Back on Hittin Hard with Jon Chuckery on Locked On Sports Atlanta, asking you to head over to youtube.com, put Locked On Sports Atlanta into your browser and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Growing every day. Really appreciate how quickly this is all growing. Follow me on my personal Twitter page at JMCH316 as well. Now, I'm asking you specifically out there in the audience to give me some feedback on this. Okay, this is where I am asking for some commentary because I have a question, and I have a question that I want you all to give me some answers to. So the Braves lose again last night, 1-0. Run scores on a wild pitch. Braves strike out 16 times last night. Now they've lost 2 in a row. They were only 4-4 on the homestand. They're in Milwaukee again today. Reports are that Ronnie may play today. He passed all his tests and he was kind of running, and Snicker said if he feels all right, he'll play him. I don't know if that's going to be a DH. I hope it is. I'd like to see them use him at DH a little bit more because I think that they've got to get him back a little bit more into baseball shape. I'm not blaming the injury on the knee. I just think it's overexertion. I mean, you look at that game with the Red Sox where he got hurt. It was, running to the foul pole to catch a ball and running to the wall to catch a ball, and he's stealing bases and this, that, and the other. A lot of exertion on his legs for a guy that hasn't played a whole lot. But that aside, let's hope he comes back today and the Braves figure out a way to get a win. But as we sit right now, the Mets got rained out last night, or bad weather, whatever it was last night. So the Mets are now 7 games up on the Braves, and they have a doubleheader today, and they're playing the Cardinals right now, who have had a really good start. Arenado was the player of the month in May. They've had a really good start. So the Braves and Mets are playing the top 2 teams in the NL Central right now. Braves right now sit at 16-20. They are 10-11 at home, 6-9 on the road, minus 15 run differential, 5-5 in their last 10, and they've obviously lost a couple of games in a row. While I understand it's not time to panic, but it is May 17th as I look at my calendar out there. Here's what I'm asking you. Help me understand, when is the point of starting to have concern about the Braves? Is it a date? So is it June 1st, July 1st? Is there a specific date that you're looking for that you look and say, okay, on June 15th, I'm looking at the Braves and I'm going to decide whether or not I'm going to be concerned about it, okay? Is it the number of games played? I'm not going to have concern until the Braves play 100 games. And then I'm going to look and see where the Braves are after 100 games, and then I'm going to get concerned. Or is it how many games back are the Braves? Braves are 7 games now. I won't feel concerned until the Braves get 12 games back. I'm asking because things are not going well and right in Braves country. And they are figuring some things out, but look at May, for instance. Darno, Olson, Riley, Duvall, those guys are barely hitting 200. All of those guys are barely hitting 200. Riley's got a homer and 3 RBI. Darno's got a homer and 7 RBI. Duvall's got a homer and 5 RBI for the month. They're not getting production out of a lot of their top guys. Olson's only hitting like 208 for the month. So they're not getting production through the middle of the order. Bullpen at times is up and down. Will Smith at times can't get anybody out. Bullpen does some good things, and they get beat up. Tyler Matzik is headed to the IL now. Tucker Davidson's going to start today. They probably would have used Strider, but they had to use him last night because Matzik's going to head to the IL. So you're getting some beat-up factor. Ian Anderson was terrific last night. Max Fried goes, not tonight, but he goes tomorrow against Corbin Burns. That's an ace versus ace matchup. He's been terrific this year. Morton is starting to come in. So the Braves are figuring some things out from their starting pitching. Bullpen at times is really good, or it stinks it up. No matter how you slice it, the Braves have underachieved thus far. So what is the metric that you're waiting for or looking for to have some concerns? Because this idea that it's easy to say, well, they'll just do what they did last year. And then I saw somebody who said, well, in 1992, that's 30 years ago. So we got to repeat what we did 30 years ago. Okay, well, how easy is that? And I'll keep saying, if there was some magic switch to flip, Braves would have already done it. Now, I'm not going to say that they missed Freddie Freeman, but there maybe is a little bit of missing in Freddie Freeman, especially with runners in scoring position. Freeman was one of the best guys in Major League Baseball at that. Maybe there is some clubhouse and things like that. You can pick whatever reasons that the Braves are not playing really well right now. But I want to know when you as a fan will start to have concerns. Are you looking at how many games back? Do you have a specific number of games that they play that I'm going to look at? Or is there a specific date on the calendar? Hey, July 1st, I'm going to look and see, okay, the Braves are headed toward the All-Star break, and I'm going to have a better understanding of what they are. I don't know. Because I'm sitting here on May 17th and saying I have concerns. I'm concerned that the Mets are a pretty good team who doesn't have the best pitcher on the planet coming back. I'm concerned that the Braves offense, while we just assume it's going to get rolling, what tells you that Marcell Ozuna is about to become the guy he was in 2020? Because since 2020, he hasn't been that guy. He wasn't that guy last year, and he hasn't been that guy this year. What tells you that Riley can't have a regression in his numbers? People know Austin Riley now. Austin Riley's not sneaking up on anybody this year. Pitchers get a book on you. They start to figure you out a little bit, and they're going to take you out of the offense. I'm not letting Austin, if I'm a pitcher, I'm not letting Austin Riley beat me. I'm not letting Matt Olson and Austin Riley beat me. I'm going to make the guys that are bigger hit or miss opportunities, the Ozunas and the Duvals and demerits and guys, I'm going to make those guys try to beat me. But I'm sure as hell not letting Austin Riley go out there and beat me. So you start to figure some things out. And who knows? I mean, look, Adam Duvall had a monster year last year, led the league in RBI and all that kind of stuff. But he's still a high strikeout, low average guy. When he makes contact, it goes a long way. Well, how often does he make contact? And this idea that whatever your narrative is, well, the weather warms up. Well, it's going to be 90 degrees this week, folks. Weather's been warmed up. It's Atlanta. It's in the 80s and 90s. I mean, all these things that we use to just find ways to rationalize it. This team is not playing well right now. And it's easy to sit back and say that, well, we'll just get the offense cranked up. And then once everybody starts hitting, okay, well, when's that once everybody starts hitting thing? How many of those games have we seen this year where everybody hits? One or two? We had that breakout game, a while back, I don't know, 6 weeks ago, whatever, when they scored 16 runs or whatever, like on a Friday night. Okay, that was great. Last night, you couldn't get anything going. Peralta had you completely shut down last night, and you struck out 16 times. Well, guess what? You're going to see Corbin Burns in a couple of days. Guess how many guys he strikes out? 1 million. That's baseball today. Yeah, I always say I would love to see the Braves use their speed more, play a little bit more station to station, this, and the other. But it just seems like our offense just gets bogged down so often. And I have some concerns about specific guys. I'm concerned about Ozzy's lack of power just in general, not his home run power, but look at his doubles. And he hasn't had a triple yet this year. I mean, look at Ozzy the last few years. He's a 30 to 40 double guy. He's a 5 to 8 triple guy and a 25 to 30 home run caliber guy. He doesn't just hit a bunch of home runs. He gets a crap ton of extra bases. Well, those numbers aren't there this year. Ozuna, since that monster 2020 shortened season where he spent the extra time getting in shape, he's been nothing close to the guy that we saw during that. He's got a flash here and a flash there. He's good enough for that, but he's not even been close to that guy. And Duvall, maybe he is what he is. Maybe last year was a freak of nature that he had this monster 40 homer, 100 RBI season, but he's not really that player. I mean, it is possible that some guys may be overplayed. Look, Rosario and Soler are two perfect examples. Soler's hitting a $188 for the Marlins right now. Rosario was hitting what? 060 for the Braves. You couldn't get those guys out last year. Come August, September, October, you couldn't get those guys out if you tried. Especially in the playoffs, you couldn't get those guys out. Now we can't get anything out of those guys, and Soler has done nothing for the Marlins. So tell me what the metric is that the Braves or that I as a Braves fan should start to have concern. I'm curious because I'm going to tell you honestly now, I'm already having some concern about where the Braves are headed for this season. All right, don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube page. Head over to youtube.com, Locked On Sports Atlanta. And, of course, I want you to give me a follow on my personal Twitter page, at JMCH316. We thank you so much for making Hittin' Hard with Jon Chuckery your first listen. Make sure you make A to Z with Mark Zinno your second listen every day as Mark is back doing Atlanta radio or I should say Atlanta podcasting, and he's talking about all things Atlanta sports. So it's all the takes that you got to have. And, of course, Mark's going to always come in red hot with everything. So check that out. He's part of Locked On Sports Atlanta as well. Free and available on all of your podcast platforms. And of course, you can find him on YouTube as well. We will be back with you tomorrow. It is Hittin' Hard with Jon Chuckery on Locked On Sports Atlanta.